Welcome into a very exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Startz, and with me today is Anthony of East of Anthony. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me, man.
Well, before we get too far down the road here, let you go ahead and kind of give us a short history of yourself and the band, and then we'll talk about everything you guys got going on now.
Yeah, so it really started during COVID. Um, I, Probably me, like a lot of people, decided that, hey, I'm gonna write some music. I've got nothing else to do, and I do art too. And I was doing some art, some live on Instagram is really how it all started. And Instagram kept blocking the music I had in the background, copyrighting it. So I started making my own music just to feed in the background while I did my art. And one day I was like, hey, that's catchy. I think I'm gonna put some lyrics to it. And next thing I know, I was writing a second song and a third song and a fourth song. And I've played for years, but as far as performing and like actually taking that extra step to perform was something I had always wanted to do. I just never took the step. I guess you'd say circumstances weren't right. So it was 2000, around 2020, 21. I decided, yeah, I'm gonna start. I want to perform, and you start building the set list, things like that, and trying to get gigs. And it's a slow process, but here we are. This is 2025. I gradually have built a band in 2023. Towards the end of 23, met Zach. He's my bass player. He was at one of our shows. Me and my previous lead guitarist, Steven, it was just me and him for a little bit. And we were just kind of like a duo. And we were doing a show and he loved our music. He said, and so I asked him, like, hey, want to play bass? We need a bass player. And so then we were a trio, and then we met our drummer that we had before. I actually just sent him our new album to give him. He's getting a first listen to it before anybody else. He was our first drummer, Jordan, and Jordan had a foot injury this past year. We met Todd. He was going to fill in, and so the rest is kind of history. Todd remained our new drummer. We all gel really good. That was a four-piece at the time. It was me, Zach, and then Walker. Walker's our lead guitarist now. And we met Walker through last year. We did the big eclipse. There was an eclipse festival we all were at, and met Walker, his family, and so he joined. And I just asked. I People liked our music, so I would just ask, "Hey, I need this. Hey, I need that. You want to join?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And so here we are, and we're a really, pretty tight knit group. Zach's sister-in-law, she's the newest member. If you listen to our latest single, "Save Yourself," she's the one in that song. And so after we recorded that song in studio, everybody was like, I think it was our drummer Todd. Todd's like, "Hey, what if we asked her to join the band?" He had this vision, this idea of other songs with her. I'm like, dude, I'm like, me too. I hear it. I already have some songs in mind that are on the shelf. I have this like figurative shelf of songs that aren't finished, and I'm like, I hear her vocals on it. So Zach was all for it, my bass player, her brother-in-law. So he was all for it. So now we're five piece. So the small paying gigs have just gotten even smaller. We'll all make about $20 a gig now. No, we have we're super happy to have her on. She's been looking for a project like this, and it was funny. I was looking for a female vocalist for about 2 months, for this song. That it was finished. We were in studio. We had recorded some of it, and I was on TikTok, and I would do my TikTok stuff. And if I knew of a vocalist on there, I would ask, "Hey, would you be interested in just laying down vocals on this song?" And I found a couple of girls that were like had good vocals. They just weren't that. They didn't just like hit you like, "Okay, yeah, this is the one." And then I was on Facebook, and there's London, and I didn't know she was related to Zach yet or not. So I asked her, I said, "Hey, your vocals are perfect, I think, for this song. Would you be interested?" Swear I'm not a creep, you know. And so the rest is history, kind of. And it's what's funny is Zach's like, "Oh yeah, London can sing," you know.
Oh, yeah, now you tell me.
How do you tell, man? And so it was this funny, story about how it kind of happened. So
Well, and
yeah, we
it's all been totally organic, it feels like, you
it,
start off and it just keeps kind of growing and building very naturally and with the people that are already attracted to the music. And I think that's a really cool thing is that y'all have kind of come together because of your songs and because of others' affinity for them that they're like, yeah, I'd love to play these songs with you. And as a songwriter myself, I mean, that's got to feel really awesome for you to just sit back and have other people that are willing to, invest in you and invest in your music. And has there been an evolution of the songwriting process now over the course of the last 5 years? Are you kind of writing with the core members of the group, or is it still mostly you kind of bringing in songs and maybe there's some tweaks to certain things?
I'd say we just finished our first professional studio album. It drops Friday. That's how fresh it is, and like I love the fact that we're doing this today because it drops the 13th. So the singles are already out there, but now you get to listen to it all together as one full album. But to answer your question, yeah, it was basically me bringing in, "Hey, here's another song I wrote. Hey, here's another song I wrote," and then Todd, or whoever's on the drums before, "Hey, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Cool, sounds great." Zach is always great on bass to just whip out a bass line, and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it's perfect," you know. And I try to let them have as much, almost 100% leeway as they can or as they want on songs because I want it to come natural to them. And I really 100%, I don't think I've ever really just said, "No, I don't like that. Do it my way," you know. I feel like if you give your band that freedom to do that, to express themselves on songs, unless it's just really out there that changes the dynamic of your sound or something, that'd be different. But they put their own spin on stuff. I love it. And then our producer, he takes what we give him. I usually send him demos. And he puts his own spin on it. He always asks, "Hey, do you care if I give a little freedom here?" And I'm like, "Dude, I can't wait to hear it." And so far, me and Jeremy have been just right there on every song. So as of this weekend, we had kind of a big band weekend because our show canceled. We had a big show scheduled this weekend, past weekend, and their AC went out. And it's real hot in Arkansas.
I'm about
So
to find out, man. I'm going to Little Rock next week.
right, yeah. So it's indeed hot, man. Shorts, sandals for sure. The beer hat, I don't know, something to keep you cool. So we were all like, "Hey, let's just hang out at the house this weekend." We got more we got especially next week, some big shows coming up. Let's practice, rehearse, and just chill out. And so some of that writing process that you were talking about started happening this weekend, which I've wanted to for a while. We were just kind of rounding out finishing the album,
Right.
We
You
were
were
focused.
focused on another project, and now that that's finished, you have a little bit of freedom of time
Yeah.
and creativity to go and pursue the next phase, man. This is
And
really awesome.
I tell you what, this and this song that Todd, it was Sunday morning. Todd just he's over here doing triplets on drums. And I'm like, what are you doing? He said, just exercise. It's an exercise. I said, keep doing it. I grabbed my electric guitar real quick and just a riff came out of nowhere, pulled it out of my butt. And I mean, this might be, who knows? I keep saying this will be our best song yet. You know, you never know. But it was cool to have that finally happen where I didn't start the song. That was all Todd. I'm like, dude, that was all you. That turned into the riff that I created. If only Zach was here, someone else could throw down, then made the cherry on top. So
Well, and it
that
was
was
the
cool.
first time that somebody else kind of brought the seed, right?
Yeah,
That you've been
yeah.
bringing your packs of seeds to it and going, well, here I have this, let's water it. Now the seed was kind of brought forth from somewhere else, and you got a chance to kind of be the watering can instead of the sower. And I got from a songwriter's perspective, that's got to be really cool, man.
It was cool to finally sit back and just throw your stuff, or what am I trying to say? Jump in on a song and not feel like it's always all about you. That's what I always hate. I always tell the band it's not always about me, or I don't ever want it to be that. And when you're like the sole songwriter, I guess I tend to feel that way sometimes. Like I always have to reiterate to the band, like, you guys always put your input. Tell me whatever, you're not gonna bother. Don't feel like just because I wrote the song that. So I want them to have that freedom. So it was cool for Todd. Now it's Todd's song basically, which it'll become the band's. But it was so cool for him to do that. And then we have a new song. I threw my phone down real quick, hit record, so we wouldn't forget it. And it's just cool that it worked out that way. Finally.
Well, and you guys are just getting started. It seems like you got a really awesome thing going on. And yeah, it just keeps just kind of going where it's going to go anyway, right? It doesn't feel like anything has been forced. It doesn't, at least from the outside here, talking to you today, it seems like kind of the dream of how every band should start, right? Of growing in that way and then getting to make music with some really awesome people, which it sounds like you got around you. It's a dream, man. It's the dream of every songwriter, I think, to have their songs kind of brought to life with other musicians. Yeah, my path is very much the same but different, right? I've just played with a lot more people, right? I've been putting the bands together for the last 20 years. I've played with all kinds of different parts. So I have all these original songs that I've written, and I've pretty much been playing the same batch of songs, but they've all come out in different expressions because I'm not coming in and going, you have to play it just like this. It's like, no, what they did is what they did. And what
Mhm.
you're going to bring to this song is different, and that's fine. That's the way that it should be. So, yeah, how
Yeah.
fun to, spend the last several years of your life just kind of watching this all happen in real time. And now y'all got an album coming out Friday the 13th. And let's talk a little bit about the songs on the album. How many songs are coming out on this one?
It's 10. Where's my? I got a CD somewhere. Is it 10? Yeah. I usually do 11. I know on my past albums I try to keep. I try to do about 11, and then we dropped an EP. A couple months ago, we dropped an EP, which that EP is what made up the first part of this album. So yeah, 10 songs. It was yeah, eight, four and four, and then our producer did an instrumental for us for a show. I wanted a walk-on instrumental, and we liked it so much we put it at the beginning of the album as an intro.
Killer.
So we have that. And then Remember Me is a song that really kind of took off. Um, it was on my first album, and for being in the bedroom, lo-fi, and me recording and doing all that, I tell people it was the blind squirrel finding the nut, you know. It turned out good enough where people came back and kept listening to it till I think it's at like 2,500 streams. Nothing major, but for like a bedroom recording and people that do know our music go, oh yeah, you remember me. So what we did, we remastered it. I let Jeremy have free reign with it. And so this is his mix. So you'll see on the album, it's the last song on the album. It says "Remember Me," Jeremy Huddleston mix. So that's the album. 10 songs. We do have the first song on there, "Higher Ground," is getting about 100 streams a day.
Awesome.
It's at 20, I think as of today, 22,000 streams between all the three major like streaming services. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. You know, I feel like the right person hears that song. Who knows? You know, but Higher Ground is really doing good. It's kind of set, and it kind of set the kind of the feel for what we've kind of become, I guess, as musically. I mean, I was always that musically, but it's like we kind of are continuing that direction still. Now we have London and her vocals, so that's gonna change things. Save Yourself is on that album. Save Yourself features London, and man, it's a good song. With her vocals in it, it just took it to another level. In fact, I feel like it took the album to another level. So I think it's a good listen. It was cool to release them as singles first. What I did since December of 24, I released New Messiah, which is the third song on the album. And then each month I released a single until this month. Uh, and then it all came together to become one album. So now it's just a full listen.
That's awesome. It's something that I'm kind of working towards. I made an album, 15 years ago, and just kind of rushed through it. And it was something that at the end of the day, while I was proud of the songs, we didn't take our time like we should have. And now I've gotten a chance to take a few of these songs and some new ones that I've written back in the studio more recently, and just doing like a 4 song EP, but got some great players on it. Pretty much recorded the bass and drum tracks within a couple of takes live in the studio and just cranked it all out and have slowly kind of built this thing. But it's the best work I've ever done. And I can't be more proud of it. And that's just kind of working with people that I don't work with on a regular basis, guys that I know and have gotten to know well, but they're in the Rapid City, South Dakota area. I'm 5 hours east of there, right? So we all kind of got together. So I've experienced this a little bit lately on maybe a smaller scale, because I think when you're able to share that experience with people close to you, and not just necessarily that that you're friends with, but you're seeing each other all the time, right? You're regularly getting together for band practice, and you're able to share in that excitement. I think it can really I think it really amplify that energy, right? And can really propel you towards even greater and newer things. And it feels like with kind of the late addition of London to the album and to the band, that you kind of, quickly close that chapter, right? Let's put this one out here and let's get to work on some new stuff and see where the evolution continues to go for this band. Is there a name of the album?
Yeah, it's called The Divide. Yeah, and you'll see our tiger. I don't know if you've seen our tiger. Hang on, let me get it here. So our Tiger logo, um, that's our main brand. You're gonna see it. If you haven't been seeing it for the past 3 years, you're gonna see it for the next whatever, till this is done. But I don't know if you can kind of see
Yeah, that's
the
awesome.
the double tigers. So that Jeremy kind of enhanced our main logo. So when you go to the Spotify or wherever you see this, oh, there it is. There's the original one right there.
Epic.
So that logo is to represent the fact that we are kind of a heavy band. We do heavy, and then we write some very kind of softer material. So, and it's also a nod to something else personal. um, that people who know me know a situation. It's a nod to that. Those two tigers, the balance and the imbalance and all. So, it's a nod or a play off of that. But for the most part, we're a hard rock band. We're not metal, but we're a hard rock band. But at the same time, there's like fake faces on there. It's you'll hear it when you get a chance. It's very acoustic. And it hits you at the end. Don't get me wrong, that ending is epic. It hits you at the end, but that's kind of what we are and what we're going to continue to be. Um, and I feel like in today's music, with music, you can be whatever you want when you want, as long as it works and meshes well. I don't think you need to be all over the place, but I grew up hearing bands do it too, like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden, different bands that were very hard rock, almost metal, and then they drop an EP like Jar of Flies, if you know anything about Alice in Chains. And so that's kind of the mentality I've had with all of this. The band's always been on board with it, the group. So that's kind of what we are. That's where that logo um, comes into play, and you'll hear that in the song. So, but yeah, that's what it'll look like. To get back to your question, so Friday, that's what you'll look for. Is that new kind of, I don't know if he AI'd it or what, but he took what I sent him and did that. I was like, man, that's pretty cool. He's like, can it be the album cover? I'm like, yes, I love it. So it made it was still us, but it was, oh, he's put the split down. That's right, he put the divide because of the name of the album. That's right. So you see the split actually happening there in right there in that picture. That's right. You see the actual like split. So that was all Jeremy. Jeremy, as a producer, I joke with him, you need to join the band because he's got his fingerprint on so much um, of our music. So
Right.
I have
He's much less an outside influence than an inside influence now.
yeah, he'll take stuff like when we go in the studio and he sends me the first take of what he's, put together. I give him liberties. And if we meet again and talk more in the future here, we can talk about that more. Where I'll tell you, like, I'll say, hey, did you listen to this song? Okay, so and that song, that's all Jeremy. Like Jeremy, he'll take a riff, like he'll take my riff, like on Save Yourself. I thought the riff was already cool, and he took it. He goes, "What do you think if we did, this? It's just so simple." I said, "Oh my gosh." It took it to another level. And so I love the fact that he's in tune with us like that, in tune with me. I tell him, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do if you die, man. Because we're just I don't want to work with anybody else really, that's how gelled and in sync we have been with this. So a lot of what you see in this album or hear, there's a lot. He's in the mix. No pun intended. Ha ha ha. But he that was a good one. But he's in the mix to the point I joke all the time, just join the band. Come on, just join the band. So it's been really cool again, going back to you saying how it kind of just spontaneously happened, even with Jeremy finding him, just happened. I was looking for other producers and just found him. It just kind of fell in our laps.
Well, and that's what
And
kind of makes it feel like without being over religious, but it makes it feel like a God thing, right? It makes it feel like it's definitely out of your control what is happening when it all just fits together so perfectly, right? A lot
that's
of the
what he
scene
keeps saying,
projects
yeah.
I give credit to something much larger because it's like I couldn't have planned this. I couldn't, not even on my best days, could I have planned what has transpired in the last, 14 months of doing this podcast. And my music has kind of been following suit now as well. So
That's
Anthony,
cool.
man, pleasure getting to know you today. Can't wait to listen to the album, everyone. That is called The Divide from East of Anthony. It's going to be available everywhere on streaming. You guys printing CDs too?
Yeah, making CDs, merch is fixing to hit the fan. So
Let's
yeah, we got a
go.
lot of merch. We had a good stack in about, was it a month ago? No, 2 months ago now. We sold out of all our merch, and it was a really
Awesome.
small. It was in a small, intimate show, and they just wiped us out. And so we're just now getting, financially where we can get some more merch together.
Love
Yeah,
it,
we'll have
man.
merch where you can get it online, all that kind of stuff.
There
Yep.
you go. You're becoming a real band right before our eyes.
Yeah, go check out the album. Would love to. I don't know what kind of music you make or into, but would love to hear your take on it.
Yeah, well, and we do some album and song reviews through our blog and website, and we're building a lot bigger thing. To date, the podcast has been, mostly just interviews. We've done a few songwriter showcases that we filmed, and now we're working on actually when we come to Little Rock, we're doing a showcase for our summer mixtape. So a chance for artists to come in, put their best song forward, perform it live for a live audience and for myself, right, the executive producer of the Scene Projects. And yeah, to give people a chance to be a part of, like, everyone can be a part of it no matter what, but for the cream to rise to the top and to have some of these, we're doing some contests and different things because before I won, the Content Creator of the Year award back in April, I didn't think that winning anything in the music business was it really meant anything. And since I've started opening every conversation with, "Oh, my name is Bubba Startz and I have an award-winning podcast," and watching the doors that has opened, I realized that now we kind of have some of that to give to other artists, whether they're just starting out or they've been doing this for 20 years. We have something to offer in the way of our name carrying a little bit of weight in whatever small music community that we're building right now. But I would love to listen to the album. I can't wait to listen to it. I'll be coming through Arkansas real soon. I don't know exactly where y'all are at, but I'll throw up a peace sign on my way through, and hopefully we get to hook up real soon, man.
Yeah, we'll love it. We'll love it. Yep.
Awesome. Well, Anthony, thanks for being part of the scene, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you for what you're doing.